Did you know over 60% of first-time clients do not return for a second visit? That is so painful, but it doesn't have to be that way. That's where Maya comes in. Maya is the ultimate marketing software for the beauty and wellness industry. We have a proprietary funnel utilizing special algorithms to help connect the right consumers with the right providers at your business. This means that Maya helps you get higher spending clients you love to work with who stay the long haul. If you want to increase your revenue, increase your client count, increase your average ticket, and increase your new client retention, then you need Maya. Go to joinmaya.com to set up your own personal virtual tour and see why over 500,000 consumers have trusted Maya and the businesses we work with to find their perfect beauty and wellness pro. We promise you will love Maya.
Thank you for joining me. This is Katie Whitledge with the Beyond the Technique podcast. Today, we are talking about leading the natural movement. There is no better person to talk about today's conversation than Leysa Carrillo.
Woohoo!
Joining us here. You got to watch. Look, go to the link in our show notes to watch today's show on our YouTube channel so you can see the gorgeous face behind the name. Leysa is a global artistic ambassador for Redken. She is the founder of Forever Curls Academy, a NAHA finalist, and she is on stages everywhere. You're going to hear why or see why if you're watching today. So without further ado, we're going to get to know Leysa Carrillo. Welcome to Beyond the Technique.
Oh my God, that was an amazing and such a warm welcoming. Thank you, sweetheart.
Oh my gosh, you have such a presence when we think about people who are just magnetic and get you fired up and lit up. This is you. I want to know, where did that fire come from? Talk to me about your childhood and how you grew up and where you grew up and what brought you ultimately and eventually to the beauty industry.
Oh my God, this is a long story. I'm gonna make it really interesting and shorter, but I'm originally from Cuba. I was born and raised in a extremely intense, a strict family. And I was that artistic person in the family that everybody was looking at like, what are you even doing? What are you dancing and screaming and jumping, you know? So both of my parents, they're lawyers on the military world. My brother's an engineer. Like, so it was just like that little girl, always with that extremely curiosity about art, about people, about um, exploring, risking. So that was me. From the moment I was playing, from the moment I would be on the car with my dad and the things that I would ask him all the way from point A and B, he would be like, hey, stop asking questions. So I always was extremely curious about a why things are the way they are. And analyzing my life growing up, all those why lead me to who I am today. That curiosity, that ability to not settle for whatever people say and have my own opinions. I think that literally is who I am. I'm so extreme, Katie, that I don't have a TV. So that's how crazy I am. So I'd rather like, yes, I don't own a TV. I don't want to be manipulated by any information somehow. All I do is reading books, listen to podcasts, and of course, here and there, maybe every 3, 4 months, I watch something in Netflix that is interesting to me. But I try to stay away from, following things. I want to create and be that person that is on the lead on the at the odd times, I would say.
Yeah.
And I grew up as a ballerina, so it was so much discipline. So my parents were okay, so that's what you really want to do. We support you. So I did ballet since the age of 7.
Wow.
And in Cuba, a lot of Americans don't know this, but because it's a communist country, everything is owned by the government, so there is no private anything. Just to put it clear, there is nothing private. So there is only one national school of art, And if you want to be, I don't know, a baseball player, football player, there is only one school for a sport. So it's an island, but it's a huge island. And I would say if there is only one school and you live really far away from that city, you have to live on the school. So I used to live in a dorm since I was 7 years old. I didn't know how to brush my hair. I didn't know how to do a proper shower, I guess. But I knew that I want to be a dancer, and that was the only option because there is limited options. And I was just there since the age of 7. I'm away from my family, and I built a career for myself that brought me to United States. So I traveled the world before I came to United States, over 17 different countries. I was part of this show, that took me everywhere in the world, and we got a work visa with a contract to perform in Las Vegas, Nevada. And that's where everything started. So I moved to United States. I was a performer for different shows, including Cirque du Soleil. And I was start getting older, I'm not gonna lie, especially when you push your body at the early age. There is a lot of injuries, a lot of things going on in my body that I had to find a different career. But of course, because I have this hair that is crazy and it's big and it's different, and I was dealing with this hair since I was 7, I was that friend. I was that friend. Literally, before even going to beauty school, I knew how to braid, I knew how to do updo. So I was the hairdresser for pretty much 99% of my friends when they got married without even having any knowledge of. I mean, I would practice, we will like redo that do for 3 months until they will love it, and that's it. So if I look back, a lot of my friends' pictures, I did that hair, I did that makeup. And when I was looking for what to do, there's the one that told me, like, hey, you should go to a school and learn how to cut and color. And I was like, oh, you think? And of course, stubborn enough, strong enough, how I am in my mind, I went to college. And but then my English wasn't that good. And I want to be an interior designer. And I did a whole year. And I was suffering between the English, between the math. I was staying long hours trying to figure out everything, and I couldn't. So I decided to quit. And I went to beauty school because beauty school was cheaper. I thought that I could do that. And that's what I decided. I was like, oh my God, this is so expensive. I'm paying so much money in college, and I'm barely passing the exams. And it was between my English, there was none by them. I didn't have zero. It was just I was learning it still. And that's it. That's pretty much how brought me to beauty school. I always tell people beauty school choose me somehow. And I went because it was cheap. I didn't go because I was loving hair or makeup. I just thought, oh, I can afford this. I think I can do braids. I think, let's try. Yeah,
Well, clearly you fell in love with this industry. When did you
right away.
know? Yeah, when did you know? And then what did it look like to get started?
I think I walked into the school and it was just that process of learning, chemistry. I did cosmetology, so it was between nails, skin diseases, waxing. I was just doing it all, but I didn't felt it until I met the first client for the first time. The connection with the people, the smile that you see on their faces after the service, that's what it got my heart. My heart, my attention, my love got into that feeling of gratification, because as a performer, you always in a show, everybody's watching, they applaud, they get the emotion. So I'm so used to work with emotions on my body and translating my feelings before with my body, now with my hands and my conversations or whatever it is, right? But for me, the books and the beginning was really like, know myself, know what I want to do. But I was okay, this is part of the beginning, chemistry, theory. Okay, let's do it all. And then, wow, hit me when I had the first client, and it was special. I was like, wow, this is interesting. Then, you go through the process of assisting in a salon. I did the whole thing. I start from the very, very bottom. I started in a salon, cleaning the salon. So I went through every single step on how to become. I feel like it's kind of like when you own a restaurant and you start from the very bottom, understanding every position. When you run a restaurant, they want you to understand the back of the house, the front of the house, customer service, the ones that are on the phone responding to the reservation. So everything is a whole, um, I mean, it's a whole system, right? So the same thing with the salon. So I'm so glad that I started as a cleaning lady. I think cleaning gave me the ability to see what excellence means, what luxury customer service are about. So especially it was like a really high-end salon. So and the owner wants everything to be extremely clean and towels that couldn't even have like a little, I don't know, nothing. Everything was like to the teeth, and that excellence, I took it to every step through my consultations, my services, my values, my education, like everything. That was the standard, right? So even starting from the bottom, it just gives you an idea of like what high standards look like, not so matter in what place you are.
I was just going to say, like, you grew up in a household that had very high standards for you. And then you got into a role at the age of 7 to do dance, very high standards, especially go and be a performer. You
Mhm.
moved to the US. I'm curious. And by the way, it's no surprise to me that you were attracted to a salon that required and had very high standards because it's part of who you are as well, having high standards for yourself and wanting that. So I think that's so cool. I'm curious if way back, not like way, way back then, but back when you started in beauty school, was there the education for textured hair? Or did they kind of maybe look to you like you might know things we don't know? What was that like at the beauty school that you attended?
I mean, I'm talking about I graduated in 2008. We didn't even have products for curly hair back then. I'm telling you, it was just
Oh,
I used to be a model
yep.
as well for this big agency. I used to get booked for Vegas, LA, whatever back then. And I remember like all my pictures, I look like this with my big afro, and I would still get asked to straighten my hair. Like they like, oh, that client wants you, but can you straighten your hair? Oh, that clients like you, but can you smooth your hair back when you go to the audition? And I was like, what? So I remember because I was doing both things at the same time. So my beginning of my, I would say when I graduated and I started working in a salon, I was still working at shows and do modeling because, you don't have clientele. So you were kind of like, I was still hustling, trying to juggle in between two jobs, right? And I remember there wasn't even products. I don't think people was even interested about what I was even doing on my hair. Nobody even cared. And back then, it was all about relaxer. It was about keratin treatment. I remember when the keratin treatment came out. I remember the smell. I remember how strong it was. And everybody that had curly hair that I remember, that's what they were doing. There was, of course, a small group of people that had curls, but there wasn't that many. So I don't think that I got any somehow asked to do or to even try. Wasn't on the curriculum, wasn't even at the school. We wasn't even getting clients with curly hair. I think it back then wasn't just a thing.
Mm.
But back to your question, people always always wondering, oh, how you get it like that? But that say it was kind of more like an intrigue. They were intrigued about, but it never moved to the next step or like, okay, I want to leave my hair like that. How you do it? Can you cut it? I don't remember being asked for any service that involved wearing your hair natural back then, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Did that change while you were behind the chair, or did something in you change and you created your own way, your own movement when it comes to natural curls, embracing it for yourself and for others? What did that look like?
I have to admit it. I'm known on my group of friends, on the people that know me to be extremely humble and to be, no, no. But I think I have to admit, I have to say that I started something. I'm sorry, I did. And it was just based on my experience back then. So a little moving forward from this conversation about how I started in the salon, my curiosity, my lack of like knowledge when it came with my own hair, I would start getting exposed to a lot of education. Why? Because the salon was big on education, but at the same time, because I was before I became a hairstylist on the floor, I was helping the salon owner with so many things, organizing, cleaning, all of that. We have a really good relationship. And there was so many education coming to the salon, but I couldn't afford all of them, because you kind of new on the floor, you assisting, you getting paid less. I was working at nighttime, trying to like pay my school loan, whatever it was. And I basically asked her, hey, can I help you facilitate? Because I was already kind of doing it. And I get all the education for free. Everybody that comes, I pick them from the airport. I get the pizza, the water, I clean, I put the shirts, I bring it back. I was doing all of that. And I would sit down, I would get the education for free. Of course, I would have to sometimes shampoo. I would miss some part of the education, but I would say 90% I would get so much education for free. I was really lucky to do that. And I was always wondering about why, when I was raising my hands and asked, oh, how was a curiosity? It wasn't even service at that moment at the salon. There was for people like me. It was just a curiosity. Hey, the same angle for that bob, let's say it was a bob haircut. How you would do it, how we approach it with my curls. And they would tell me the same. No, no, the same, the same. I did the whole balayage certification with L'Oreal. I will never forget that. And I remember asking, and I remember going back and trying to do it on my hair. And some of my friends were start getting to, they would start wearing the hair curly, and I was practicing on them. And I was destroying their hair and my hair as well because it wasn't the same. And that when was something click on my head, right? And I tell this story a lot because it's part of what it was, and I'm not gonna lie about it. But one big name, well-known, educated, came to the salon one day, and the model didn't show up. And I sat on the chair to be a model because remember, I was the problem solver person at the salon. I was solving every situation. I had to be there for the educator. And he's like, "Oh, let's do you. You had it so fun." Da, 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 da. And I sat down. And when I finished, I will never forget. It was multiple models, and the salon was divided in two. And he was, "Oh, you're styling, you can style." Of course, he didn't know. So I went to the other side and I started styling my hair, and my hair was on the brush. Like my hair fell off. He destroyed my hair, he fried it off. And I started crying. One of my friends had to go. There was a bar around the corner, and I would never forget. She got a shot for me so I could relax because I was shaking. And I didn't know what to do. Imagine, I wasn't very facilitating. I cannot be emotional in front of 20, 30 people that were there for him. I didn't want to make him feel bad. I didn't want to disappoint the salon owner. It was so many emotions. This is me on my early 20s. The emotional intelligence that I have is nothing to do with now Leysa 40 something years old, right? So of course I was extremely upset, but at the same time I had to put it together because I had to smile in front of people and act that I love this look. And that's what I did, my love.
I would say that's
After,
pretty high emotional control that most
but I
people
think it was because the
wouldn't
shot.
have. There you go. Yeah.
I had to have that. I don't remember what's tequila, patron. I was like, give me something that I had to literally knock myself off like a punch on my face. And I have to get this out of my head right now because it's making me really upset. So I came back and I smiled kind of. And what I did with a little curly iron, I curled all the hair that was kind of left. And there is so much density. I mean, I have so much hair. So in order for you to see me that I mean, you couldn't kind of tell as much, especially because I styled it really well. I went over every single curl that was gone. It was completely straight. And I curled it with a curly iron. I sat down and I was kind of quick. Ah, everybody look good. But people was looking like, oh my God, it's like pieces the missing. But I was just moving fast and I was just went around, because I wasn't the real model anyway. So it was kind of people didn't pay attention too much about me. So they kind of look, oh, it look good. The educator didn't even take pictures. Imagine how bad he knew that he messed it up. Story short, after that day, my love, it was a click in my head that says, you have to do it. clearly this is a gap on the industry. You have to take ownership of this. You have to do it. And that's how Leysa became who she is today. So from that moment, I cut my hair off, super, super short. I think I don't even know if I use a clipper. It was super short. And I start all over and I start searching, understanding, dedicating so much free time to figure it out. So I used to leave the salon at midnight. I used to leave the salon with the cleaning people. I used to call models. I used to search for every person that kind of was leaving the hair natural to be my model and to let me practice, including all my friends. I made my friends to switch from where they were to natural. Like it was a whole movement. And that's it, how everything started. So I was just, it was kind of when the big hit on social media happened as well. I remember it was the era of the Vives and the fashion color. I don't remember when Guy Time was really big on YouTube. I don't know. I remember when Paul Bryant came out, I was one of the first group of educators. So that's when all the brands started creating that big colorful line. I think every brand, of course, some here and there have color, but that's when literally was big for the movement of like pastels, like fashion colors, and it was just the name, the social media, or the rainbow. So it was that era, and I was creating rainbows and colorful and pastels, and I would call it names, and I would do it with big afros and curls, and that's when a lot of my content started getting viral. And that's it. I got approached by Insider Beauty, the magazine, and Couple Magazine. They flew me. Another magazine came to Vegas and they were in an ad about all of those colorful curls that were on social media and all of that. And that's it. That's how basically everything started. From there, I did a big campaign with L'Oreal, and that's when everything blew up because it was when L'Oreal came out with them. I think it was CDB. I don't remember the name. It's no longer on the market, but it was just those fashion colors, and I was the first one playing. I went to New York. A lot of different stylists from all over the world came, and full circle is
Wow.
Lexia now. But I have to admit it, like I kind of started a little bit of the movement. I started a little bit of like posting bleach blonde curls. And I would get questioned by a lot of hairdressers and a lot of people, but did you curl the hair with a curling iron? No, I just finally figured it out. We can make it happen without destroying the curls. And I was just starting just the whole movement. And that's how the education came out from, because then people want to know how I did it. And then I was achieving those really beautiful blondes and colors. And
Mm. That's so
the next is history.
well, and let's fast forward to today because you do have an academy and you go and you teach on stages everywhere. Is there still this gap? Are we still struggling as an industry to embrace and equip and empower our stylists to work with textured hair? What does that look like for you, and how do you support the industry to help get us to where we could be?
I mean, it's still a gap, smaller, and 100% agree with that. I feel it's a smaller gap, especially from 2020 to now. I mean, and the reason I know the whole movement, how big have been, is just based on the market, from products, from mannequin heads. I remember there was only one brand making this, only one curly hair mannequin. Like I remember the whole thing because I started teaching and wasn't no mannequins available. So that tell you how big the gap was. You go now to Pivot Point website and there is 10 million curly hair mannequins. So so many other hair art. There is so many different brands that make curly hair mannequins, but I'm telling you, I remember the very beginning wasn't any. I think there's still a gap. And what I do, I continue to be as loud as possible I can be. I don't care how long it's going to take me. It's a mission, it's bigger than me. It's not even about me anymore. It's about those little faces that I see right now smiling and looking up or looking to magazine or looking to even just 2 weeks ago, a week ago, there was Victoria's Secret runway and it was a big girl with a big fro. That didn't happen before, so I think whatever the new generation is living and experiencing right now, people like me didn't have it. So I feel like the movement is getting bigger and better from something so simple like Victoria's Secret Fashion Week or, behind the scenes on whatever hair show. Definitely we way past the ignore phase. I think everybody know what happened now. So it's just about jumping in because it's not going nowhere. It's hair, doesn't matter. And the word texture, that's what it means. Texture is a surfer with movement. So you feel the wall has a movement, has a texture, the furniture in your house, the clothes. I mean, it is what it is. So the same with hair. There is nothing different. Yes, you need to get educated like anything in life. If you are a fashion designer and you start working with really thick leather, or from fashion designer you start moving yourself to decorating interior for luxury Ferrari cars, let's say, that material on that fabric is going to be different. So you have to literally go and figure it out. Maybe your sewing machine has to be different, but doesn't mean that it's not sewing. Sewing is sewing. You just have to understand what needle you're going to use depending the fabric. The same with hair. I think it's the same on every industry. Highlighting, contouring in makeup is the same. Now you have to pick what is the highlight for somebody that is super dark from somebody that have freckles. Like in all the industry. Barbers do it. You go to a barber shop and the barber is cutting a Asian kid, a black kid, a Middle Eastern. Doesn't matter. I think we are taking it way too serious on the hair industry. In every single industry, people work with different textures, with different ethnicity, with different things. It's the same. You go to the dentist and he's not gonna treat you different because you're darker than me. Doesn't matter. It's the same mouth. I don't know. To me, it's so stupid that I still don't get it why people are not interested in being inclusive enough to do everybody, to welcome everybody, to not discriminate. People are people. Who cares? There is a culture aspect of this that you have to educate yourself. And I'm not from here, right? But I'm black, but I'm also Latina. But my mom is from Spain. I have a huge mix in it's just understanding the culture behind black hair. But I'm not even, it's just I'm not even somebody that should be like saying what to do. But I feel that if you want to call yourself a specialist of any way, somehow, you should be able to touch every hair on that specialty. If you cut and you say, I'm a specialist, I don't know, a cutting specialist or whatever it is, you shouldn't say no to me. That means that you can cut any single hair. If you say you're a blonde specialist, you shouldn't not be able to do blonde on me. No, just remove that from your bio and don't say it because bleach with 20 volume, a foil, and a texture inside the foil is the same thing. If you're not capable to do me, you shouldn't call yourself a specialist. That's how I see it.
I'm curious, Leysa. So Forever Curl Academy, is that accessible where people come to you or you go to them? What does that look like for people listening today that say, I want this kind of education? How do they get involved? What is that? What are their options?
So many options. I make it extremely accessible for everybody for the same reason, because for me, it's not about the money, it's about the integrity behind my message. I just came from Brazil and I made $0. And I was on the biggest stages, but it's about my message. And I have a digital membership that you have pretty much over 60 videos that you can see from top to bottom about from business consultation. My education is so rich that people, when they see it, they like, oh my God, everything that you share, I can take it to any hair texture, because it's not about that. It's about the whole system. Every time I tell people, no, I teach a system in place. You have the digital where you can watch for the comfort of your house, videos, multiple videos, new videos every month. Then we have a tour. So for the last 3 years, I built a team that is helping me to facilitate education. And the reason I do that is because I want to take my education international, how I did. And of course, I work with brand. I burn out. And this is me being 100% serious and honest. Like, I went to the doctor and I have the biggest ears infection ever. My ear was like, and it was because I was on a plane every week, literally. The doctor was like, no, 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 you have to, the next two trips, you have to drive. You won't be able to get on the plane anymore. So it was a wake up call, two divorces. So I think I'm a real testimony about a workaholic that didn't work out, didn't have any boundaries. Two divorces, a million like health issues. And I created a beautiful, amazing team, and we travel all around the world together. But I have a national tour happening in America. But that is like a 1 day class where you get like an idea what the academy is about. Because the academy is more in depth. It's just a lot going on and it's hard to facilitate when you go to places. And the reason I want to break this down is because I've been teaching since 2016. Wasn't even popular back then, independent education. I already see it all. I see the industry shift. I see you guys, the listeners, the hairdressers, getting way better. So one class, one little technique is not going to take you to the next level. That's why I create that academy. But I know the academy is something that not everybody can afford because it's in Miami. Before Miami, I had it in Las Vegas. And you have to come and you have to stay with us, and it's going to be multiple days. So I kind of have these three branches of the education where you can have us at your salon as well. Basically, you can book us individually 1 day. We teach you as much as possible. We can focus on whatever your needs are as a salon owner, as a team. And then the academy would be the only place that you can get hands-on education in the United States. So it's extremely exclusive. It's not for everybody, for those that are ready to take it to the next level, you know? It's more personal. There is no more than 15 people, just only a little group. They have a whole support for a year. It's not that, you go to the class and bye bye, I don't see you anymore. You know how it is. Sometimes you go to the class and it's so hard to absorb all the information. So that's why I create also the digital, because anybody can have access to the digital at any time to refresh the knowledge and the techniques and stuff like that. But if you come to the academy, it's a way more in-depth support that you have for a whole year included. It's amazing. I have a beautiful community. Not to mention this year, we're going to do this big retreat because they've been asking me, because the community become just so beautiful and tight and people miss each other. They're like, oh my God, I
Oh
remember.
my
So
gosh.
I'm so like, they
Yes.
want to get together.
Okay,
So
please keep me posted on your retreat because I love the in-person experiences. I feel there's just nothing like that to reignite anybody's passion that's part of this industry. So for everybody listening, I have in our show notes the links to everything. First off, you need to follow Leysa on her Instagram. It's beautiful, amazing, empowering, inspiring. And then all the links to her different options, whether you go to her in Miami, go to a 1 day event, her upcoming retreat, or the digital platform to have her in your pocket on an ongoing basis. I have it all there for you. So go click on the links, get following, get looped in. Leysa, before we're done, what would be some words of encouragement just for owners who are listening today that have teams that they really want to support and empower and equip them to work with all hair types no matter what?
I always say growth begin with you deciding to leave the comfort zone, to understanding that there is more than what you know out there. And this is from somebody that started on the beauty industry doing bridal. I did bridal. That's why even my page is called Leysa Hair and Makeup, because that was my beginning. I was doing updos and bridal. I have this whole company in Vegas, and we used to go to hotels and stuff like that. From there, I became more like a colorist, and then I became a curly hair specialist. I went through all of those steps to be what I'm at today. The foundations is the same foundation. There is nothing different. It's just about you wanting to elevate. And there is so much opportunity up there. I feel like becoming a specialist, you becoming like, there's a general doctor and there is you. somebody that had the ability to do so much. So it's like I don't know. Don't you want to become just a surgeon that can do an open heart surgery and just double and triple your income and versatile and let me tell you the gratification, the beauty behind that hug, those tears. Look online. The most viral videos are the curly hair consultations. They became their own video by themselves. People not even sharing the process. They're just talking with clients and seeing how much they care about the hair. People that are on the 40s. I have clients that they 40 years old and they sat with me for the first time at that age because they were scared. They didn't see any opportunity in salons. It's sad. Don't you want it? And that I think all of us have to do it. I'm also part of this board that we are changing beauty school curriculums because everything starts there. This is nothing that I'm saying it goes against you guys. It came from the beauty schools. It came from the system. It came from society. It had nothing to do with us, but we can always do better. So L'Oreal has the texture of change.
Mm.
You can go to the website and you can sign the petition. I'm part of that movement, and we literally, little by little, changing beauty schools curriculums. So this is not going nowhere. So it's going to be mandatory to understand this hair when you go to beauty school pretty soon. I think we have 5, 6 states already signed, and it's just going to keep going and keep happening. And it's just, I travel the world. Let me tell you guys, it's everywhere. This year I went to Italy, Mexico 2 times, Colombia, Brazil, Spain, Canada is everywhere. It's not something that is just for the weekend or it's just for now. And you should jump
It's
in.
a
You should be part
movement.
of. Why
It's a
not?
movement, and Leysa is leading the movement. It's like the perfect. Yes, you are amazing, and it's just so fun to get to know you. I promise you, I'll be helping spread the word. I just, yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here today and for inspiring everybody that's listening. I really do appreciate you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. And like I say, I like to be loud about this. And I appreciate all the spaces that I can be to share a little bit about my story. Everybody can do it. Like I'm a walking example of somebody that immigrated to a different country, start a new career. I think I'm on my third career. I don't know. But it's possible. Just let's do it.
Let's
Thank
do it.
you.
Thank you. And thank you all for joining us here week after week. If you appreciate this platform, please take a moment and leave us a 5-star review wherever you're listening so that more people like yourself will discover Beyond the Technique, where we're here to change the way that you are supported in your business. Until next time, have an awesome day and stay strong.